Hey guys, Chris here again. It's been a little bit since I've been back. I haven't done a video in a little bit. I've been kind of focusing on some other things. Work's been a little bit busy, and kind of in my free time I've been working on a pet project, which is refinishing my old Fender Telecaster, which some of you may have seen pictures of, but still working on that. It's an interesting project, gives me something to do when I get home. So I've been kind of reserving shaving for a little bit of relaxation and haven't been doing many videos lately. But here I am tonight, and tonight we're going to be doing a kind of an oddball shave. Everything that I'm going to use tonight is something that I have not used in a previous video. And we're going to start with Catie's Bubbles LPV, which I'm not going to lie, when I say that kind of sounds like I've got a venereal disease. We're going to be using my iKon Slant. This is the first generation one. I'm going to briefly talk about how to modify this one so you can have a real Generation 2 slant. And I'm going to be using PolSilver Blades, which are ones that I just got here recently. And finishing off with something that I've been using for a couple weeks now, and it's becoming one of my favorites, and that is Innsbruck. So I want to just go over a couple other things. First of all, everything that I'm using tonight is going to be a little bit unique. You know, like when you get into using Razor Rock products, all of their scents are very sharp, pointed. That's what that is. You don't really have to search a lot in order to find anything in it. LPV and my Innsbruck are something you've got to kind of really search for the scents, and I'm not really one that does that, so I just say, this is awesome. LPV, this is going to be my first time using it, so what you're seeing is what I'm getting. And I'm also going to be using, my brush tonight is going to be a Muehle Silvertip Fibre, which I've had for a couple weeks, and I'm really getting to like to use it. So let's go ahead and get started here. I'm going to start with my first pass here. Get lathered up. And immediately, one thing I want you guys to know about this brush that's really cool. Yeah, it splays pretty easily, which is nice. My first experience with Silvertip Fibre was actually in the Simpson Chubby 2 Synthetic, which I found what it did was just wanted to push around the lather. It didn't want to leave it behind. It didn't flow through very well. And subsequently, I sold that brush. Many people who I know got it initially did end up selling it. But this Muehle Silvertip Fibre is really cool. The lathers I get for it are outstanding, and I really have enjoyed it. I've also been using this iKon Slant for about a month now. I haven't really put any videos in on it because I've been learning the intricacies of it. One of the things that you're going to hear a little bit about, and it is true about the iKon Slant, and that is that it's very difficult to get good blade alignment. There is nothing in there that kind of guides the blade into its proper place. As I understand, that has not been changed in the Generation 2 slant. So you may want to take that into consideration. It's an awesome razor, but you're just going to have to do a little bit more work to get that blade where it needs to go. Once you got it locked down, it's awesome. Okay, so let's go ahead and start with our first pass. I've been shaving every day, every 2 days, so I'm not doing three pass shaves much. I'm really doing 2 pass shaves, and especially with something that's a little bit more efficient like a slant, I find that can be rather effective. So we're going to go ahead and start. Okay, so this is my initial impressions of LPV. You know, there's a certain guy that's on the forums that, you know, I promised myself, I said, you know, Chris, you're not going to talk about Chris Bailey, you're not going to say his name, and I'm going to keep that promise to myself in this video, and I'm not going to talk about it. But he is one of many that like to use the term initial impressions. I don't know about you, but I don't get the initial impressions of people based on the smell of their farts, or the way that they smell in general. There's usually a little bit more depth to the character of a person that gives you their initial impression. So this is my initial impression because I'm shaving with it. So initially, my thought is that, first of all, the smell is excellent. It's very unique and intangible. Spicy. The glide is superb. It's nice and slick. This is literally my second time lathering this. First time I had another little bit that I tried because my wife has talked a little bit about maybe wanting to give this a try. So I just lathered a little bit up in a bowl just to show her what it looks like. And the lather turned out really nice, but I didn't apply it to my face. So, whereas this is my second time lathering it, this is my first time actually shaving with it. So, my initial impression is this is really great. I'm getting a really, really nice smooth shave with this. Hats off to Chris Cullen, who's given us a really, really good non-tallow based shave here. So, as I've said before in my previous videos, across the grain is actually upwards on my neck. And yeah. So, one of the things that I kind of wanted to talk about a little bit was the fact that iKon, as I said, has come out with their second generation slant, their new and improved one. And you know, I kind of am starting to find that maybe some places or some manufacturers are starting to be a little bit disingenuous with their assessment of what new and improved is. And as far as I'm concerned, spray painting the head black does not constitute new and improved. Got a little bit of a weeper here. I always get that on my Adam's apple. Maybe we'll use another new thing that I started using, which I never thought I would, but that would be a, not an alum block, but using Styptic Pencil. So excuse my mortal wound here, but we'll get that taken care of here shortly. So, and that was just me nicking it because that's what happens. So yeah, guys, you can nick yourself, as many of you maybe remember from my balloon video. These things can be quite brutal. PolSilvers are pretty sharp, and they're known for being that way. They're also a little bit expensive, kind of like what is it, feathers. But give me just a second here. Let me deal with my wound here. Alright, so get your Styptic Pencil and let's find out. Ooh, that burns. Okay. See? Stops the bleeding pretty quick, huh? Well, let's carry on, shall we? Okay. So, 3 days of growth, which you may laugh and go, there's nothing there. Screw you guys, I'm going home. Okay. Painting motions a little bit more with subsequent passes. You don't really need to swirl it around so much with these. Yeah, it doesn't look like I'm getting a lot, and that's just because I've wet my face and this lather is a little bit wet. But it works. So let's carry on here with what would typically be an across the grain pass for my second, but we're going to do against it. So, starting at the side. One thing that's really, really nice about this razor is it is incredibly forgiving. I find, well, I say that, of course, after I destroy my neck here. But it really, really is smooth. I mean, the way it feels, you don't feel the blade very much at all when you use this razor. It's awesome. There's a right and there is a wrong. There is no two ways about it. You're either getting blade contact or you are not. So for that, it's nice. I've really enjoyed it. My shave craft, my wife has been using that a lot lately. She's kind of learned to use that. So when it comes to just keeping everything, mine, I've been grabbing this Slant. I traveled with it and took it with me, and it worked out awesome. So I will say, though, that I have been getting a little bit of staining in the stainless steel. If you don't wash it out and dry it out completely, you will still get some rust spots. I mean, you can get it out pretty easily, but, it's still there. So there we go. I'm just going to do a little bit of cleanup here. Cool. Next, in 2 passes, baby butt smooth. All right, let's finish up here on the sides. And like I said, there is no right, or I'm sorry, there is only right and there is wrong with this razor. At least in my experience. YMMV, if you will. But I really do enjoy it. Now, I did have a Merkur Slant, which I did find nice. And whereas if you buy this thing new, which I didn't, the cost difference is substantial. And some would ask, is the performance difference substantial? Is it $100 worth substantial? No. But again, with this blade, I do like the low margin of error that you get. It's not as aggressive. It's a pretty mild slant, if you will. I actually got rid of my Merkur Slant because I figured this is the one I was going to use. Merkur blade alignment, much easier. This, not so much. Okay. So, there we have it. A nice, easy, very smooth 2-pass shave with the iKon Slant and with LPV. Chris, hats off to you. Really great stuff. That's my first time trying it, and it's awesome. I can't wait for mine to come in the mail. So I want to talk about a couple other little products here. First one that never gets any play is the face wash that I use when I'm in the shower. The face wash I use was recommended to me in a video that I saw by Birchbox. Birchbox was the first place that I got any of my stuff, and they were talking about heritage brands. And one of the brands that they talked about was Lucky Tiger face wash, which has jojoba oil and cucumber and aloe vera in it. Very soothing stuff, very hydrating. Really great stuff in there. I can't recommend that enough. Let me go ahead and just wipe off my face really quick here. So, definitely pick this up. They've got the face wash and the face scrub. The face scrub has these like kind of little exfoliating beads in it. It's substantially more expensive than the face wash. You get a lot less for a lot more money. So just pick up the face wash if you haven't given it a try. Really awesome stuff. Back to the iKon. Again, I really don't think you need to spend this additional money on the 2nd generation Slant. I really find that there's a lot of claims that manufacturers of various products like to make that are just based in absolute nothingness. You've got to give some kind of scientific proof behind what it is you're saying. Like a perfect example is this shampoo that we have. It is sheer volume with collagen plumping effect. Says who? I've never used this and said, wow, my hair is plumper than ever. I've never said that, and I don't think I ever will. So they can make these claims, but really they got to back it up by something. This razor was good enough as it was. It didn't need a spray painted head on it. And if someone's got one that they want to send me just to try it, and I'll send it back to you, that's fine. Prove me wrong. So last, let's finish with the classic Alt Innsbruck. I learned about Alt Innsbruck, as many of you know, I'm a big fan of Mr. Fine and Fine Aftershaves, and he was inspired by Alt Innsbruck, which had a very minimal ingredient list. The ingredient list is actually not quite so minimal anymore. I'm not sure if it's because they had to start being honest or if there was a new formulation, but still awesome. So the scent of this is a little bit of an acquired taste for me. It's very, very floral. The tobacco flower scent, I don't find it to be the same that you get from like Tobacco or like Razor Rock Z Pepino. Nothing like that. It's very, very unique and floral. But the thing with this, and I'm gonna splash some on here, is the wonderful, mild, and slow cooling effect that you get from this. I find that it isn't the kind of aftershave that has that menthol wallop where you just get hit with it and your whole face just starts to brighten up. That's really not what happens. With Alt Innsbruck, it really hits you slowly and then it will slowly back off. I will feel it hours later, like in between my fingers, and it'll just feel really weird. It doesn't burn. It gets that burning only to the point of being cooling and doesn't actually burn. I know that sounds, counterintuitive, but many out there are going to know exactly what it is I'm saying, especially if you're fans of Alt Innsbruck. The scent lasts forever, and honestly, it makes you one of those guys that's smelling your hands all the time, which can really, really turn people off and might get you written up at work. I'm not saying that that's happened, but I'm not saying it's not going to happen. Anyway, guys, that's been my shave for tonight. Hats off to Chris Cullen. Really, really good stuff. Can't wait to get some more. Yeah, so if you guys have any questions or comments, leave them down below, and I'll see you guys again really soon. Have a good night.